Playing the blame game. Playing the blame game. The blame game often reveals our preferences. We tend to look for bad guys who confirm our existing beliefs. We tend to look for bad guys who confirm our existing beliefs. Let's look at some of the people we most love to point the finger at. Evil businessmen, lying journalists, and foreigners. The blame game often reveals our preferences. We tend to look for bad guys who confirm our existing beliefs. Let's look at some of the people we most love to point. We most love to point the finger at. Evil businessmen, lying journalists, and foreigners. Business. I always try to analytical, but even so, I'm often floored by my instincts. This particular time, perhaps I had been reading too many cartoons featuring Scrooge, McDuck, Donald Duck, Rich. I always try to be analytical, but even so, I am often floored by my instincts. This particular time, perhaps I had been reading too many cartoons. Scrooge, McDuck, Donald Duck's rich, greedy uncles. Perhaps back then I was as lazy in my thinking about commercial Parma as my students were many years later. At any rate, when UNICEF asked me to investigate a bit of contract to provide malaria tablets to Angola, I got suspicious. The numbers looked odd, and all I could think was that I was going to uncover a scam. Some dishonest business was trying to rip off UNICEF, and I was going to find out how. 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 UNICEF runs competitive bids for pharmaceutical companies to provide it with medicines over a 10-year period. The length and the size of the contracts make them attractive, and bidders tend to offer very good prices. However, on this occasion, a small family business called the River Farm, based in Lugano in the Swiss Alps, had put in an unbelievable low bid. In fact, the price they wanted per pill was lower than the cost of the raw materials. My job was to go over there and find out what was going on. I flew to Zurich, then took a small plane to the little airport in Lugano. I was expecting to be met by a representative of Chevy corner cutting outfit. I was expecting to be met by a representative of a Chevy corner cut outfit, but was instead whisked away in a limousine and deposited at the most luxury hotel I had ever been in. I ran home to Argenta and whispered to her, "Silk sheets." The Next morning, I was driven out to the factory to inspect. I shook the manager's hand, then went straight in with my questions. You buy the raw material from Budapest, turn it into pills, put the pills in containers, put the containers in boxes, put the boxes in a shipping container, and get the container to Genoa. How can you do all of that for less than the cost of the raw materials? Do you get some special price from the Hungarians? We pay the same price as everyone else to the Hungarians. He told me, and you pick me up in a limousine. Where are you making your money? He smiled. It works like this. A few years ago, we saw that robotics was going to change this industry. We built this little factory with the world's fastest pill making machine, which we invented. All our other processes are highly automated too. The big companies' factories look like a craftsman's workshop compared with us. So we order supplies from Budapest. On Monday at 6 a.m., the active ingredient chloroquine arrives here on the train. By Wednesday afternoon, a year's supply of malaria pills for Angola are packed in boxes ready to ship. By Thursday morning, they are at the port in Genova. UNICEF's buyer inspects the pills and signs that he received them, and then money is paid that day into our Jury Bank's account. But come on, you are selling it for less than you bought it for. That's right, the Hungarians give us 30 days credit. The UNICEF pays us after only 4 of those days. That gives us 26 days left to earn interest while the money is sitting in our account. I couldn't find words. I hadn't even thought of that option. My mind had been blocked with the idea that UNICEF were the good guys and Parma were the bad guys with an evil plot. I had been completely ignorant about the innovative power of small businesses. That turned out to be good guys with a fantastic ability to find a cheaper solution. Journalists, it is fashionable for intellectual and politicians to point a finger at the media and blame them for not reporting the truth. It is fashionable for intellectuals and politicians to point a finger at the media and blame them for not reporting the truth. Maybe it even seemed like I was doing that myself in earlier chapters. Instead of pointing our fingers at journalists, we should be asking, why does the media present such a distorted picture of the world? Do journalists really mean to give us a distorted picture? Or could there be another explanation? I am not getting into the debate about deliberately manufactured fake news. I'm not getting into the debate about deliberately manufactured fake news there is something else altogether and nothing to do with the journalism. And by the way, I do not believe that fake news is the major culprit for our distorted worldview. We haven't only just started to get the world wrong. We haven't only just started to get the world wrong. I think we have always gotten it wrong. I'm not getting into the debate about deliberately manufactured fake news. There is something else altogether and nothing to do with journalism. And by the way, I do not believe that fake news is the major culprit for our distorted worldview. We haven't only just started to get the world wrong. I think we have always gotten it wrong. In 2013, we posted results from Gapminder's Ignorance Project online. The findings quickly became top stories on both BBC and CNN. The two channels posted our questions on their websites so people could test themselves, and they got thousands of comments trying to analyze why the heck people were getting such worse than random bad results. Why the heck people were getting such worse and random bad results.